I'd like to say thanks for everyone who watched the James English podcast, and thank you for your questions. So today what we're going to do is answer some of those questions. Won't be able to answer all of them, I'm afraid, because you know what I like to rabbit on, so they take a long time sometimes. So we're going to do it over a period of the next week or so. So keep the questions coming, and I promise I'll answer them all. So let's deal with the first one. Miss Cheeky Monkey. She wants to know basically what was one of the funniest things during the rave scene. Well, as a promoter, I think one of the funniest experienced, which was very, very close to the edge. I remember we used to usually just break into warehouses, put a lock on there, and that was it. But as sort of we got further and further down the line, we got to introduce to more people. The word was going around, we were looking for warehouses, and we managed to find a young guy who worked at commercial estate agents, and wasn't too hard. We come to an agreement with him. Anyway, we gave him 500 quid, and he give us a set of keys for a warehouse in Edmonton. And it was mad because this was the first time we actually had keys to go in, so we could not have to worry about rushing in sort of thing. We kind of was able to sort of move at our own sort of own pace and our own pattern. So we got there in the morning, unlocked the place, the guys turned up, and basically we thought, right, we've got all day now to sort of do it up, so we'll start early, get the place straightened up. Anyway, when we walked in, the place was used basically for storage, and it was people's personal belongings, whereas they were going abroad or they'd moved house and they would keep everything, in store and pay for that facility. Similar to what Yellow Storage is today, but one big industrial unit. And we walked in there, couldn't believe some of the stuff that was done. Beautiful leather settees and fridge freezers and televisions. But, we weren't interested in that because we're not thieves, we're not, burglars, nothing like that. We wasn't going to go and steal people's belongings. We were interested in getting a warehouse fit for purpose to have a massive party that night, So the guys were there, everyone was cleaning up, they were kind of, moving all the furniture to the back. I remember they took the whole day. There was a forklift we had to move. It couldn't move, so we had to literally push it right to the back of the warehouse, and they set everything right to the very, very end of the place. It was just looking good, and the guys then were basically kicking a football about in the place, waiting potentially for the lorries to arrive with the sound equipment and the backdrops and lasers and all that kind of thing. Anyway, heard a knock at the door. I thought it was probably one of the laser man coming, so I wanted to get out there quick before any attention was brought to it. And then as I walked towards the door, and it wasn't a hard wooden door, these were like two glass doors so you could see straight through. As I've turned the corner, I looked there, to my horror, there were two policemen standing up and a guy with a flat cap in his sort of 50s. And I thought, Jesus, I can't do anything now because, I'm plain sight of them and they see me, and, I'm going to have to front it out. I thought, wow. So I turned up at the door, opened the door with a key, policeman walked straight in, I grabbed my arm. Guy walked in, what are you doing in there? And obviously I had to think immediately on my feet. Now we had the keys, I knew this warehouse was sale. I turned and said, what do you want doing in there? It's my dad's warehouse. Anyway, the policeman stood back and so did the guy. Anyway, police goes, we know it's your dad's warehouse. This is the owner of the warehouse. I thought, in my head I'm thinking, right, okay, let's go for it, right? So the guy goes, you own the warehouse? I said, yeah, my dad's bought this warehouse. So what are you doing? I said, we're cleaning it up. I said, because obviously we've got, things coming in here. I said, and, we're going to have to obviously make space and, place for it so they can get on with his business. The guy goes, oh, you're Mr. Jenkins' son. Anyway, at that, light bulb went on. So police now have walked into the main part of the warehouse where the guys are kicking football. When they've seen the police, I could imagine it was a shock horror. Everyone was like, oh my God, everyone's going to get nicked. Anyway, they clocked on. I was in the black. So the guy's gone to me, he said, look, your dad shouldn't have brought you guys in here so early. It's not, to my knowledge, gone through until Monday. He said, but, obviously I understand you've got to get the place sort of, match fit. He said, you're obviously a good fucking child because, my son is lazy. He wouldn't be doing anything like this. He's too busy out partying all night. Anyway, that in itself was hilarious. Anyway, so, he goes, I said, what was the problem? He said, well, you tripped the alarm. He said, we've got a silent alarm in now. I said, what? He said, yes. He said, let me show you. Anyway, the police and the guys took me into this little kind of room. Anyway, there's a combination alarm on the wall. He's gone, look, he said, let me show you. He said, this is the key. He took the key, bunch of keys I've got. He said, this is what deactivates. He said, listen, he said, here's the code. So the guy's written down a code for the alarm on it, right? He's gone, if you have any more incidents, he said, you just punch the code in. He said, but what it is, it sets a silent alarm off to the police station. I said, oh, that's good to know. Anyway, the police now still looked at him, very bemused. So they said to him, what's going on? He said, didn't you know what he said? His dad just bought the warehouse off of me. He's there cleaning it up. Anyway, the police are like standing back. They said, so what, has he got permission? He said, yeah, he's got permission. He said his dad's bought the warehouse. It's all going through on Monday. Anyway, at that now, he's giving his card. So he said, basically, if there's any problems, to, phone him. So I thought, this is great. So I walked the pair of them, the police and him, out the warehouse, closed the door behind her, walked back in like, wow. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that night, it was a party of all parties basically coming, and people were coming from everywhere. We'd had a whole stream of parties. They just hadn't stopped. The crowds were getting bigger, and we were really kind of taking over. Anyway, I never forget, to this day, the mobs of people were coming through were ridiculous. And with it, by this time, they've realised they've been had and completely embarrassed and humiliated. They contacted the owner. I could look through the top window of Wayne's look, and I could see him with 2 police cars outside, to identify me. But the thing is, you had thousands of people now heading into the party and coming in. So the police now were caught out. So it was a question of, we're going to have this party tonight, right? Anyway, in actual fact, that was kind of one of our first raids, in actual fact, because what happened that night was we had about 800 people to walk through the door. We had like a few thousand, coming down, and we were queuing up outside and stuff. And the police officer, strangely enough, I think he tricked one of the doormen. He said to the doorman, obviously, they just want to have a look inside. If you have a look inside to know if it's, safe, for fire and stuff. Anyway, I think Wayne said, look, if we don't let them in, there's going to be problems. And the doorman were like, well, listen, if you want, we'll stand on and we'll fight the police. Anyway, I thought, well, that's a good idea at this moment, given all the heat we already had coming down on us, the PayPal unit was in full effect and all that. Anyway, this Cozza, he must have been a superintendent of equivalent sort of rank, So he walked in with his flat cap. Anyway, he's looked at what he does is a risk assessment, basically. So he's seen how many people were in there, and then he's figuring out, has he got enough officers if they're going to come in and raid? Anyway, he walked back out the warehouse. And I think at this stage now, I think we used Wayne on the front. So I've sent Wayne out there. So Wayne's going to him, and of course I said to him, listen, we're coming in, right? You empty that warehouse or we're going in there, right? So Wayne came back in and said, look, this is a big problem. Do you know what I mean? And of course, looking for Wayne as well, because Wayne had been fronting loads of parties. So his face was usually stuck up front. He was the usual sacrificial lamb in these situations. And basically, the doorman said, right, what we're going to do? So we walked back inside, and we said to the DJ, actually, Mad Hatter Sound System used to play for us and stuff, provide some sound equipment. They had different DJs play. And the DJ said, right, unfortunately, the police are outside and we're going to have to, leave the warehouse. What we're going to do? And I'll never forget, there was that moment of defiance, and they dropped Chiaria, Let Me Love You for the Night. And that was just a beat which was pulsating and coming through, and the warehouse exploded. Everyone was like going crazy. But we did wind it down, and we did make everyone leave the warehouse. And obviously what I'd done was I slipped out in the covers, because this guy who owned the warehouse was firmly placed outside with the police looking to see my mooey, and that would have been game over. But luckily I lived to fight another day.